of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They came from all 50 states. Out of some sense of patriotic duty.
It's so much more than just rallying for President Trump. It's really rallying for our way of life, the American dream, against fake news.
To protest an election they believed had been stolen.
We're here, Patriots. We're in Washington, D.C., Capitol building dead in front of us.
Their day of action would be January 6th, when Congress would count electoral ballots and ratify the 2020 election results. For some, it was just a rally for their president. For others, it was a call to arms.
We have the power in numbers. March on Congress directly after Trump's speech.
In the weeks beforehand, there were over 1 million mentions on social media of storming the Capitol. Maps were shared of the building's layout. There was talk of bringing weapons and ammunition, and discussion over which lawmakers should be targeted first. This anger was based on a lie.
This election was a fraud.
A lie that had grown more frenzied after the election.
President Trump won this election.
They were flipping votes.
Steal the election in Philadelphia.
When you win in a landslide and they
steal the election in Atlanta.
And it's rigged.
Steal the election in Milwaukee.
It's not acceptable.
This is outrageous.
A lie spread by the president and his closest allies.
Let's call out cheating when we find it.
Some of whom stoked calls for violence.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow.
Everyone's going to remember who actually stands in the breach and fights tomorrow and who goes running off like a chicken.
We bleed freedom.
This will be their Waterloo.
And we will sacrifice for freedom.
This will be their destruction.
What happened next was chaos.
They broke the glass.
Insurrection.
Take it now! Jesus! Jesus!
Death. Then there began a campaign to whitewash history, starting at the top.
It was a zero threat. Right from the start, it was zero threat.
And spreading throughout the Republican Party.
Even calling it an insurrection, it wasn't. By and large, it was peaceful protest.
One lawmaker who helped barricade the House doors now suggests there was barely any threat.
If you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January the 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit.
A tourist visit? This was not. And the proof is in the footage. As part of a 6-month investigation, the New York Times has collected and forensically analysed thousands of videos, most filmed by the rioters themselves. We obtained internal police radio traffic and went to court to unseal police body cam footage. Our reconstruction shows the Capitol riot for what it was. A violent assault encouraged by the president on a seat of democracy that he vowed to protect. We'll chart how police leaders failed to heed warnings of an impending attack, putting rank-and-file officers in danger. We'll track key instigators in the mob, taking advantage of weaknesses in the Capitol's defences to ignite a wave of violence that engulfed the building. We'll show for the first time the many simultaneous points of attack and the 8 breaches of what appeared to be an impenetrable institution of government. We'll show how the delay to secure Congress likely cost a rioter her life, and how for some, storming the Capitol was part of the plan all along.
In fact, tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go, I'll say it. All right. We need to go in to the Capitol.
Let's go!
It's the morning of January 6th, and thousands are filling the National Mall in Washington. Trump will speak here at the Ellipse, a large park near the White House and a half-hour walk to the US Capitol, where the election will be certified. Who's actually in this crowd? Most are ordinary citizens who believe Trump's lie that the election was stolen.
It's going to be a great day. It's going to be wild, as Trump says.
But we also see more extreme groups who've gained a following during Trump's presidency. There are followers of the QAnon conspiracy,
drinking their blood, eating our babies,
who believe that Trump is facing down a cabal of Satan-worshipping paedophiles. Q posts often invoke notions of patriotism and predict a coming storm. And ahead of January 6th, some supporters call for violence. The Oath Keepers, a far-right paramilitary group, are also here.
We have men already stationed outside D.C.
Their leader has said the group is ready to follow Trump's orders and take members of what they call the deep state into custody. They're organised, staging their military-style equipment neatly on the ground. And later, they put on body armour, talk on radios, and chat with their supporters on a walkie-talkie app called Zello.
We have a good group. We got about 30, 40 of us. We're sticking together and sticking to the plan. Y'all, we're 1 block away from the Capitol now. I'm probably going to go silent when I get there because I'm going to be a little busy.
Another group is the Proud Boys. They're far-right nationalists who flash white power signs throughout the day.
Check out all this testosterone.
They became a household name when Trump invoked them during a presidential debate.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
And that's what they did. They have a history of street violence and will be key instigators of the riot. We'll return to them soon. Although the rally is billed as a political protest, some make calls to storm the Capitol even before Trump speaks.
We are going to the Capitol, where our problems are. It's that direction.
And later, when Trump does take the stage,
we're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Some hear his words as a call to action.
You'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
Invade the Capitol building.
Do the right thing.
Take the Capitol.
Take the Capitol. Been lawfully slated. Lawfully slated.
Take the Capitol right now.
Everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building.
2 hours before this, the Proud Boys were already heading for the Capitol. They're clearly spoiling for a fight with far-left agitators like Antifa, who they believe are in DC.
Where's Antifa?
But there are moments that suggest another motive.
Take the fucking Capitol.
Come on, tighten up. Tighten up,
come on, boys.
Let's not fucking yell that. All right?
They're organised too. Many are marked with orange tape or hats.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys. And those are the boys marching with us. We got hidden guys everywhere.
They're wearing body armour, carrying baseball bats, and using radios.
That's affirmative. Jesse, this is Tucker.
Leading them is Ethan Nordine, who's been entrusted with so-called war powers. He's joined by other well-known Proud Boys, like Joe Biggs, an organiser from Florida, Dominic Pezzola, a former Marine, and Billy Crestman. They will be among the first rioters inside the Capitol building.
Proud Boys.
As Trump is speaking, some of his other supporters also head to the Capitol.
Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets!
And the tone is becoming menacing.
We're gonna storm the fucking Capitol. Fuck you fuckers.
USA! USA!
Just ahead, officers guarding the building are understaffed and ill-equipped for what's coming their way.
You gotta stop us!
The building is more than 2 football fields in length, and barricades erected on the east side are defended by just a few dozen officers. The west side, facing Trump's rally, is even lighter. The fencing has been extended, and on the northwest approach only 5 officers stand guard. Around 5 also defend the southwest approach, a few more dot the lawn, and about a dozen officers are behind them. Plans to storm the Capitol were made in plain sight, but the FBI and Department of Homeland Security did not deem those threats as credible.
We will take that building! USA!
Capitol Police leaders and Washington's mayor were warned at least 3 times of violent threats, but also didn't take them seriously or circulate that information. And they declined offers of security personnel from federal and other agencies. They could have enlisted several hundred more Capitol Police for duty on January 6th, but did not.
We are taking our house!
And none of the officers on the barricades have protective gear or crowd control equipment. As a result, the Capitol is sparsely defended. It's 12:50 p.m. and a large group of Proud Boys is with other protesters right by the Capitol Police line.
I got a feeling they believe those 5 officers are going to stop some shit.
Joe Biggs is rallying them when he's approached by Ryan Samsel, a Trump supporter from Pennsylvania. They chat, we don't know about what. But a minute later, Samsel is the first to approach the police line. And it's now that the protest turns violent. Without hesitation, the crowd overpowers the police. Nearby, a second group breaks through on another approach. Others jump fences. And now hundreds of rioters rush forward on several fronts.
DC is a motherfucking war zone! Fucking war! Forward!
Police retreat to the Capitol building, where it's becoming more threatening. A mob mentality begins to take hold. Police are so outnumbered, they're forced to retreat again to more tightly defend access points to the Capitol. It's now 5 minutes into the siege that the Capitol Police Chief calls for backup from local law enforcement, known as the Metropolitan Police, and asks other Capitol leaders to mobilise the National Guard.
You took an oath! Does that not mean a damn thing to you, does it?
Metro Police will arrive within 15 minutes, but for reasons we'll explain later, the National Guard won't arrive for over 4 hours. Meanwhile, more Capitol Police come to reinforce the line. It's the first time we see officers in riot gear. But most are missing their shields because they had not prepared to unlock the storage area where that equipment is kept. Proud Boys like Billy Crestman keep rallying the mob.
Whose house is it? Do you want your house back? Take it!
And again, they start brawling with the police. Minutes later, reinforcements from the Metro Police arrive. A high-ranking Metro officer immediately calls for more backup.
Get U-12 up to help maintain the lines. They're throwing back.
They struggle to subdue rioters, who respond with their own chemical spray. And within 30 minutes, the police already have casualties.
Multiple capital entries! Multiple capital entries!
This first wave of rioters battling police has paved the way across Capitol grounds for others to follow. And after Trump finishes speaking, thousands more now fill this space. Meanwhile, inside the Capitol, Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence have begun certifying the 2020 presidential election results. Certification will happen on both sides of the building, in the House and the Senate. And this is what the rioters want to stop. An hour into the assault, the mob is battling a police line here, along the west face of the Capitol. But that violence is now going to spread to multiple points of attack, as West Side rioters stream around the Capitol and incite the crowd on the east. Here's what that crowd looks like on the east. They're aware of the siege happening on the west side, and some are emboldened by it. But up until now, they've been kept behind the barricades. Then, this group from the west storms around the building and pushes right through the barriers. The police here barely put up a fight. and it's now that protesters all along the east barricades surge forward. Officers are overwhelmed from several directions. And retreat to guard Capitol entrances. But these rioters believe they've been deputized by their president to stop a crime. And now they start trying to get into the building itself. The Capitol is now surrounded. Rioters haven't made it inside yet, but around the time that the mob on the east pushed forward, rioters on the west were making a pivotal move. This scaffolding was erected for the upcoming inauguration of Joe Biden. It covers a staircase that gives direct access to an upper level, and dozens of doors and windows. 3 police lines guard that route. But at ground level, officers are so overwhelmed that just a few cover this crucial access point. Several Proud Boys see the weakness.
These are real stairs. They're flooded over here. Stairs are right there. That opens.
Proud Boys start fighting the police, and with others in the mob, they push through the line. Over several minutes, it's a brutal fight on these steps. At one point, the rioters are held back. But they make a final push up the flight of stairs. At the top, they scuffle again with a small group of officers, who give in after barely a minute.
Stop following orders! Stop! You know we're right!
The mob now has direct access to Capitol entrances.
I can't believe this is reality. We accomplished this shit.
And hundreds more protesters below surge forward.
Let's go! Seize his arms!
It's utter mayhem, and it's about to get worse. The scene is being filmed from countless angles, allowing us to piece together, moment by moment, what comes next. Proud Boy Dominic Pizzola uses a police shield he stole to bash in a window. And at 2:13 p.m, the Capitol is breached. Michael Sparks, a Trump supporter from Kentucky, is the first person inside. A police officer seems unsure of what to do and backs off. Sparks is followed by Proud Boys and other far-right extremists, one carrying a Confederate flag, another armed with a baseball bat. When rioters break open the locked doors, hundreds more rush in. This is a critical moment. Officers must now defend the outside and inside of the building, stretching them even further. Simultaneous events now happen that are critical to lawmakers' safety. Rioters head straight for the Senate and will be at its doors in 2 minutes. Above them, the Senate is called into recess.
Pause. Protesters are in the building. Thank you.
Members will evacuate down these stairs. In this hallway directly overhead the rioters, Officer Eugene Goodman is sprinting to overtake them. He passes Mitt Romney, who he warns to turn around. Reinforcements are following behind. Goodman overtakes the mob, goes downstairs and intercepts them. He holds them off while backup arrives upstairs. Behind these rioters and just feet away is an escape route where lawmakers and Senate staff are now fleeing. Just one officer stands guard. Keeping his composure, Goodman draws the mob away from that escape route to where reinforcements are waiting. He glances toward the Senate and realizes a door is unguarded. Goodman shoves the protester again, lures the mob away, and brings them into that line of fellow officers. Again, the rioters here are convinced it's their duty to defend democracy. The officers hold them off here, for now. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Capitol, a few political leaders are evacuated from the House of Representatives. But despite a lockdown alert, proceedings here will resume.
The House will be in order.
We'll go there soon. First, we'll go to the crypt in the centre of the Capitol, below the rotunda. The mob is already at its entrance. If they get through here, they will more easily fan out across the building. Rioters jostle with police here for 6 minutes, and then flood through. It's now 2:24 p.m, some 90 minutes after the siege began, and the mob is about to overrun the building. As this is happening, and as thousands more swell outside, Trump composes a tweet, not to calm his supporters, but to blame his vice president. He writes, "Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution." At this very time, Pence and his family are being taken to safety, along with an aide who's carrying the country's nuclear launch equipment. At 2:25 p.m, there's another major breach on the opposite side of the building, the east side. Rioters have been battling a handful of officers at these doors for almost half an hour. The tide turns when rioters who came through the crypt reach these doors and pull them open. Then an active duty Marine Corps officer, Christopher Warnagiris, keeps that door open for the mob to flood in. Just as elsewhere, this crowd is a mix of die-hard Trump supporters, but also more organised groups like the Oath Keepers, who move in formation here toward that east side entrance. The Oath Keepers and their supporters continue to update each other on the Zello chat app.
The House is in recess. We're going to yank them out of their seats.
The group enters the Capitol together. Proud Boys are near them, including Joe Biggs, the organiser we saw earlier. He's entering the building for a second time. The Oath Keepers fill the rotunda, along with hundreds of other rioters.
Took over the Capitol, overran the Capitol. We're in the fucking Capitol, bro.
Now the police inside the building are completely outnumbered and call for backup.
We need some additional squads in the rotunda. It's outburst about 200 people.
Throughout the Capitol, staffers have barricaded doors to keep the mob out. In Nancy Pelosi's chambers, staffers rush inside a conference room and lock 2 doors behind them. Just 12 minutes later, rioters outside head straight for her offices and pile in. Huddled together under a table, Pelosi's staff record what's happening.
We need Capitol Police, I think. Coming to the hallway. They're pounding on doors trying to find her. Yeah.
One rioter tries to break into that same room. Inside, staffers are silent as they record him pounding. He gets through the first door, but the second door keeps him out. It's a scene that again shows just how compromised the US government has become. By 2:30 p.m, the Senate evacuation is well underway. But, even though a lockdown was called over 15 minutes ago, the House is still in session.
Do not accept Arizona's electors as certified.
Representative Jim McGovern is chairing. He told us he wanted to finish hearing objections to the election results by Paul Gosar. House staff and security gave McGovern the all-clear to continue. It's a delay that likely costs someone their life. Suddenly, staff are now pointing at the chamber's doors.
Please be advised there are masks under your seats. Please grab a mask, place it in your lap, and be prepared to don your mask in the event that we get a breach.
Just outside, a mob of 100 or more is baying to get into them.
Well, we came this far. What do you say? Drag them out!
These rioters pay little heed to the thin line of police.
They're going. Yeah, I would just stop. Bro.
And in moments are pushing against the doors into the House. On the other side, Capitol Police erect a barricade and draw their guns.
You're a traitor.
On the floor, lawmakers are evacuated to the rear of the chamber, where in a few minutes, a rioter will be shot and killed. Part of the mob outside now peels off in that direction to find a different way in.
No, people are running that way.
Ashley Babbitt, an Air Force veteran and QAnon supporter, is among the first to arrive at the rear of the House. They see the lawmakers escaping. That lobby might have been clear had the House been evacuated sooner, but the rioters now become incensed. Zachary Allen, a Trump supporter from Pennsylvania, punches in the glass panels with his bare fists. Police are stretched extremely thin. Just 3 officers and a security staffer stand guard. None are wearing riot gear, and they keep their weapons holstered. When a team of heavily armed police now arrives, the 3 officers step aside.
Go! Let's go! Get this shit!
This creates a crucial gap that allows rioters to smash in the glass. A warning, what happens next is graphic. It's 2:44 p.m, and behind the door, a police officer draws his handgun.
There's a gun! There's a gun! Hey, he's got a gun! He's got a gun!
Babbitt vaults into the window, and the officer shoots her once. It's a fatal wound through the upper chest. Inside the chamber, the floor is clear, but lawmakers in the balcony are sheltering in place.
Everybody stay down! Get down!
Yeah. The fuck?
Take your pins off.
Pins off.
They now remove the breast pins that identify them as members of Congress. A group of rioters who almost made it to the balcony are held at gunpoint as it's finally evacuated. Now Trump supporters have achieved their goal, stopping the election certification.
Defend your liberty! Defend your Constitution!
And while the House is evacuated, at the other side of the building, the Senate is occupied.
Treason! Treason! Treason!
On the Senate floor, they leaf through lawmakers' files.
There's gotta be something in here we can fucking use against these scumbags.
Mug for photos. Pray.
We invoke your name! Amen! Amen!
And leave a message for Mike Pence.
It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming.
As rioters inside have been rampaging throughout the Capitol, the crowd outside has grown, and that first battle has continued raging. For almost 2 hours, officers face off with rioters who say they support the police
We've backed you forever. We've backed the blue forever.
but assault them anyway. We're going to show what happened here because it demonstrates yet again how failures by Capitol Police leaders to prepare put the safety of these officers at risk. Capitol Police had been ordered to withhold some of their stronger weapons. But as soon as Robert Glover, a Metro Police inspector, arrives, he calls for his munitions team to help.
Cruiser 50, give me a DSO team. DSO team. DSO team to respond to the west front of the Capitol.
When the building is breached, Glover knows he needs to retreat and seeks advice from Capitol leaders.
I need a command official from Capitol so we can coordinate where they want us to pull back to. We cannot hold this without more munitions or more manpower.
But Capitol don't respond. He asks 4 times.
I need to know from Capitol where they want to pull back to.
Then the police lose the line.
There's a pit that we lost the line. We've lost the line. LMPD, pull back.
We the people! We are the storm!
Rioters knock an officer over, throw a fire extinguisher. Glover issues at 10:33, the call of last resort.
1033, I repeat, 1033, west front of the Capitol. We have been pranked and we've lost the line.
On the 1033, have all units respond to assist him. Do what we're trained to do.
Crazed rioters hound the police even as they retreat to the upper level.
Take your big sorry asses and back up in there. Run your sorry asses off.
Police now begin to guard this doorway, an iconic centerpiece of presidential inaugurations. But for another 2 hours, the same pattern will repeat. Rioters fill the terrace. Instigators trigger a frenzy. And tragically, someone will die. A brutal fight erupts in the doorway. The mob heaves in a coordinated scrum. And when police finally push them out, they face even worse violence. They are tased, gassed, and robbed of their equipment. They're beaten with a crutch, a hockey stick, and even an American flag. At least 4 officers are pulled into the crowd. One dragged by his own helmet, face down. And again, the frenzy turns fatal. Roseanne Boyland, a Trump supporter who has been swept up by QAnon conspiracies, is moving toward the door. But amid the scrum, she collapses and is lying unconscious beneath the mob. As the crowd sarcastically chants a Black Lives Matter slogan, Boylan's friend, Justin Winchell, tries to pull her to safety. He screams for help.
I need somebody!
But instead, fellow rioters trample over Boyland and charge at the police again. Boyland will be pronounced dead at a local hospital in the evening. By the end of the day, rioters have breached and entered the building in at least 8 locations. There's the first breach, which we've seen, when rioters smashed through 2 windows and a door. Beside that, a rioter with a crowbar smashes in a second door and then opens it to hundreds of people. Others smash a window next to the inauguration door and climb inside. At this entrance, police stand aside and allow rioters to stream in unchallenged. On the north side of the building, police in riot gear yield and let the crowd in. Another 3 breaches are on the east side, 2 by the central doors into the rotunda, and this southeast door leading to the House chamber. It's the arrival of more Metropolitan Police and other agencies that finally turns the tide. When those officers enter the rotunda, they clear it in just 20 minutes. As the mob is pushed back through the east doors, their rage turns to Mike Pence, who Trump attacked earlier. Metro officers also stop other rioters from entering on the west side, where the mob first broke in. But here too, we see a crowd empowered by the belief that they're carrying out some patriotic duty.
I was invited here by the president!
Over the course of the day, 150 police officers are injured. After 4 p.m, Metro and Capitol Police regain control of the upper levels. The final parts of the interior are cleared by other law enforcement, including federal agencies. Tear gas and flashbangs disperse the crowd on the inauguration terrace. The Virginia State Police and Arlington County Police help to reclaim that area. Then rioters are swiftly pushed off Capitol grounds by a reinforced police line. Only now, more than 3 hours after Capitol Police first called them, do National Guard soldiers arrive.
You can defuse and turn down right now!
Troops were staging just 20 minutes away, but a recent procedural change meant the highest level of the Pentagon had to approve deployment. And Pentagon officials delayed the decision, partially in fear of bad optics, even as the Capitol was being overrun. As calm returns, the president tweets again. He repeats that the election had been stripped away, calls his supporters great patriots, and says, "Remember this day forever." The aftermath of January 6th has been as divisive as the lie that launched it. Even as one arm of government has indicted hundreds of rioters, Republican lawmakers continue efforts to normalize what happened with a mix of denials and conspiracy theories.
Some of the people who breached the Capitol today were not Trump supporters.
I knew those are people that love this country, that truly respect law enforcement, would never do anything to break a law, and so I wasn't concerned.
They include Paul Gosar, who'd been at the Trump rally.
The DOJ is harassing peaceful patriots across the country.
And Andrew Clyde, who we saw earlier, standing just a few feet from rioters.
There was no insurrection, and to call it an insurrection, in my opinion, is a bold-faced lie.
Republican leaders have blocked an independent investigation that could have brought new details to light.
I've made the decision to oppose the House Democrats' slanted and unbalanced proposal for another commission to study the events of January the 6th.
And in May, a top Republican was ousted from the party's leadership after blaming Trump for inspiring the riot.
And I think that the party is in a place that we've got to bring it back from.
None of what happened on January 6th would have been possible without a huge mass of ordinary people who were proud of what they achieved.
We stopped the mob!
Millions around the country still believe the violence was not only justified, but necessary. And the forces that brought them there have not gone away.
Yeah, the Patriots are coming back, y'all. Hopefully y'all will be on our side when that happens.
I'm Haley Willis, one of the reporters on this investigation.
The video you just watched is the result of 6 months of intensive reporting. We began on the day of the Capitol attack itself, collecting and reviewing thousands of videos and breaking them down, moment by moment, to understand how it all unfolded. We went to court for evidence, reviewed internal police investigations, and drew on resources and expertise from across the Times newsroom. This isn't the first time we've done this, and it won't be the last. To sign up for an alert every time we publish a new visual investigation, subscribe to our newsletter.